As Teresa said, it was right here in Chestnut Street in Bonteheuwel on a chilly winter's morning in June 2004, chilly just like this morning, that I came to my first DA meeting at the home of Councillor Thompson. I signed my membership form on James's car, just there where that BM was standing, but he wasn't driving a BM, he was driving his old Corolla. I signed my form on his bonnet. And it is so lovely to be back here today and to meet your parents again, Teresa. I decided to sign up with the DA on that day in 2004 because I believed, as I still believe now, that it is the DA and only the DA that is committed to a prosperous future for the people of Cape Town. And that's why I'm back here today. Then as now, I have a fierce and unshakable belief in the power of the people of Cape Town and in the need for a government that frees their potential so that our incredible mother city can take its rightful place among the great cities of the world. In the years that followed the meeting here at Teresa's house, I worked at student politics up on the hill behind us there at UCT, to build our party and to build our party here in Cape Town. I then went to work for our very first DA mayor, Helen Zille, as she blazed a trail for our party and our city. Then my years in Parliament, where I fought to grow our country's economy and get our finances back on track. But looking back to the meeting in your lounge, Teresa, never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that 17 years later I would be back here in Chestnut Street, standing as your mayoral candidate for the most beautiful city in the entire world. I know that there are many, maybe some here, who have not yet met me. I recognize that what I'm doing is quite an audacious thing to do. A millennial, 34-year-old, met 'n bietjie van 'n vreemde naam. That's why most people just call me GHL, running for mayor of Cape Town. But I promise you that in the months, and if we win this, when we win this, in the years ahead, we will get to know each other very well as we build our home, our community, ons gemeenskappe, and our city together. And Cape Town is my home, in every sense of the word. I grew up and I still live in Edgemead, just a little bit up the N7 that way. I met my wife, who's here today, Carla, at Edgemead High School. Our parents still live there. And now I take my daughter to the same parks that I used to play on when I was a child. It was also as a young man that I first came to love the values and vision of the only political party I've ever known, the DA. We can be so proud of the DA. The DA is the only party in South Africa that has shown in government that we don't have to have decline in our country, that we don't have to have achteruitgang, that the future can be different and the future can be better. Despite all the many challenges that our country and our city has faced in the many years since the DA first won power here, I am here today feeling even more optimistic than in 2006 when we first won the city of Cape Town, our mother city. After all the hard work that the DA has done in Cape Town, now is the chance, ons het nou die geleentheid, to do so much more for Cape Town in the years ahead. Let me be right up front about it, friends. The legacy of our divisive and discriminatory past, as well as the failures of the present-day government, continue to haunt Cape Town. Just as winter is cold and dark here in the shadow of Table Mountain, so too do we still feel the chill and the wind of past segregation and the gloom of present economic stagnation. And yet, the history of Cape Town, Regan, shows us that when we stand united, we can banish the clouds away and we can welcome the sunshine of spring. The strength of our community bonds, the care that we show for our neighbors, and the friendship that we show towards strangers. These are the things that set Cape Town apart and warm us from the inside out. Dit is hier in Kaapstad, waar Otjimato en Krotoa die lig van begrip gebring het tussen mense vanuit al die hoeke van die wêreld. Dit is hier waar Malayse slawe, selfs in die bittere koue van gedwonge arbeid, die warmte van musiek, kultuur en godsdiens helder laat brand het. En dit is hier, in die gloei van Kaapstad se skitterende diversiteit, dat Afrikaans as die wêreld se jongste taal gebore is, as die versinnebeelding en die mooiste taal, dankie dame, van eenheid in diversiteit. It is also here that merchants and entrepreneurs built world-class businesses that brought the light of prosperity. And it is here in Cape Town that the likes of Philip Gosane, Adam Small, Breyten Breitenbach, and Colin Eglin banished the cold winter of oppression, and where our country's first democratic parliament was sworn in. Today I receive the baton as your mayoral candidate from another one of Cape Town's heroes. During some of the stormiest weather of the last few years, Mayor Dan Plato has had the courage to go where most have feared to tread. Ek is trots om op te volg na Dan, waar Dan die pad uitgelê het. It is precisely because of the hard work of people like Dan that we all know that Cape Town is already the best governed city in South Africa. And it is because of the outright majority that the DA has here that Cape Town is the only government, the only metro government, where things get done. The DA in Cape Town doesn't sit on the sidelines and try to divide people on the basis of race or gender or religion. We get delivery done for every single resident. The DA doesn't make empty promises about clean and honest and corruption-free government. We just get on with it and get it done and deliver clean and honest and corruption-free government. And now, as your mayoral candidate, I tell you today that we have the opportunity to get even more done for Cape Town. I will earn your trust the old-fashioned way, not simply by asking for it, but by earning it, by demonstrating that I am ready to get more done for you, for your family, and for the people of Cape Town. What does that mean, to get more done? Doing more starts with doing the basics better. As your mayor, I will work day and night to bring better service delivery to every resident of Cape Town, no matter where you live. Every Cape Townian must see your potholes being fixed, your lights working, your rubbish collected. In neighborhoods like Delft and Lavender Hill, Manenberg, Langa, Googs, or where I worked for so many years in Philippi and Crossroads and Browns Farm and Esidimeni and Kosovo. There are too many Cape Townians who still experience the biting cold of poverty, unemployment, and indignity. That is why we must get more done. I want every resident to feel the warmth of the DA's care and love for our communities, and to feel and see the DA difference in their lives. The people of Cape Town must know that this is a government that they can be proud of, and that they can feel a part of, that they can walk with their head held high and their chest out, knowing that they live in a DA city that cares for them. Most importantly, while Cape Town goes through this long winter of COVID discontent. I want every Cape Townian to feel a sense of optimism for the future, that they live in a city that is on the move, where the best ideas are implemented, a city that is going places, and where people can get out of poverty and into work, where there is hope. Let's do more, friends, to unleash the power of the private sector, to build more houses for those Cape Townians who need them. The DA is the only party that wants every single person to own their own home. That sets us apart, and we can be very proud of that. There's no other party in South Africa that wants you and everyone to own their own home. That's why I want to see cranes going up across Cape Town on vacant pieces of state-owned land so that we can deliver more homes for more people. Our city must become one big construction site where we can build a future of shared prosperity. It's time for the city to fight the national government to release massive plots of land it owns so that we can give more opportunities for Cape Townians to own homes. It's time for us to get much more done to stimulate economic growth and job opportunities that flow from a thriving private sector. Let me make this commitment to you today. We will run the most jobs-focused and entrepreneur-friendly city in the whole of Africa. We will. Dankie. Regan stem saam. We will work relentlessly to cut red tape that stands in the way of entrepreneurs. If you're an entrepreneur anywhere in the country and you feel like the government treats you as a problem that must be stamped out or chained down with more red tape, hear our message today, where the DA governs, here in Cape Town. We welcome you with open arms to come and run your business and create your jobs here. We've also got to get more done in those places where the national government has failed the people of Cape Town. One of the biggest reasons our city is held back is that every single service that we rely on from national government val in mekaar. Let's think about electricity. Who can build a business with load shedding? Who can study for university by candlelight? We must stop load shedding. When we brought light to thousands of poor communities and households in Cape Town, the ANC plunged them right back into darkness with load shedding. When we worked to make our communities safer through the introduction of LEAP officers and to monitor the failure of SAPs, the ANC punished the people of the Cape Flats with the lowest police to citizen ratio in the whole country. When we introduced My City to give people more safe, reliable transport options, the ANC government took it away by collapsing Metro Rail. It's time for us to recognize, friends, the ANC government will not fix these things. They will not fix it because they do not care about the people of Cape Town. They actively work against the people of Cape Town every opportunity they get. But that's not a reason for hopelessness. That's not a reason for us to throw up our hands and say, well, daar's niks wat ons kan doen nie. If they refuse to do it for us, we will do it ourselves. If we want a thriving future for Cape Town where every citizen has a dignified life, we have no other choice but to take the fight to the national government in Pretoria. Now is the time for the DA to get more done for Cape Town than ever before. Let's end load shedding. Let's deploy hundreds more of our own LEAP officers in our communities. Let's use every tool to fight for control over the train service. And when I say we must get more done, I'm not only referring to the DA or the City of Cape Town, I'm referring to all of us. We means us. Every one of us must play our part. We must stop illegal dumping in our neighborhoods. We must clean up litter. We must report and help stop illegal land invasions. We must look to our business community to come on board as partners to deliver the things that we want for our city. And if we work together, we will get all of these things done. Because here's the beautiful part. Cape Town has always managed to turn winter into springtime when we've all pulled in the same direction. But friends, the opposite is also true. The history of this city shows that our darkest moments happened when we were allowed to be divided. Rising unemployment, hunger, and poverty that COVID has caused means that it is a time of uncertainty for many of our people. Now is the time for populists, and you can hear them already, who are seeking to divide Cape Townians into racial and religious groups. Over the coming months, you will hear many of these people. Jy moet dit net verwag. Peddlers of hate will tell you that you are struggling to make ends meet because of the color of your skin, or because of the language you speak, or the God that you worship. We have got to tell these populists that we reject that message. The only way to prevent our city from falling into the hands of these populists who seek to divide us is by ensuring that each and every single DA voter shows up on election day. I know that we can send them away, these populists, because we have the power and the light of truth on our side. And here is the truth. The anguish and pain that so many of us have felt during COVID at the loss of a loved one is exactly the same. Whether you are colored or white or black or Muslim or Christian, it's exactly the same. Just look around. We have all felt that loss. You will see that the anguish, the devastation of a mother who has lost a child to gang violence is exactly the same, regardless of whether you are black or white or colored. You will see that the fear and the stress of not having work and not knowing how you will provide for your family is no different, no matter what area you live in Cape Town or what your background is. No matter what those opposition parties will tell you, the root cause of this suffering is because we have been let down by broken and failing national government that cannot get anything done. So let's not be fooled into blaming one another for the failures of that government. Now is the moment for us to come together, to unite even more strongly than ever before, and to make sure that we have an overwhelming win for the DA in Cape Town. Where others see only decline, I see the opportunity of a lifetime to turn Cape Town into the great world city that it deserves to be. And when we focus on getting even more done, we will turn this into the best place to live in the entire Southern Hemisphere. En ons moet nou sommer dadelik begin. Dit is hoogtyd dat Kaapstad weer 'n slag sy vere regskud. Ons stad kreun van verlange om weer te kuier saam met miljoene toeriste en gaste van oor die wêreld heen. Ek is so moeg vir die stille strate en die leë restaurante. Ek wil weer 'n slag die klanke van die guma hoor en die kleure van die klopse in ons strate sien. I want to welcome our tourists, our friends, our guests, our visitors from all over the world back. But they will only come back if they know that we are protected from coronavirus. That is why we've got to do so much more, friends, om seker te maak dat almal is ingeënt. Let's go street by street, door to door, and convince those who are still skeptical to make sure that everyone who wants one can get an opportunity and a chance to have a vaccine. Ons almal weet dat jy jou eie huis ordentlik moet skoonmaak voordat jy besoekers en gastes kan verwelkom. Cape Town needs a spring clean. Don't you agree? Yes. After this harsh winter. And we are going to we're going to launch a campaign to spring clean the whole of Cape Town, to get everyone involved, to prepare for the return of our guests and our friends from around the world. Now to the people of Cape Town, I want to say this. Stand firm. Do not let the shadows of the past and the darkness of the present overwhelm you. I know that the pain of COVID still sends shivers down your spine. I know that the storm of unemployment still rages around us. And I know that the collapse of national government services crashes like thunder. But be still for a moment and you will see that change is in the air. As you can see today, the first hint of spring. After this freezing week, the sun is shining. So it is for Cape Town. Everyone, every Cape Townian who longs for winter to end and for spring to come must turn out and vote for the DA in the upcoming election. If there's one thing I've come to know in the many years since joining the DA right here at Teresa's house in Chestnut Street, it is that when the people of Cape Town unite behind the DA, we can weather any storm. Our national government has tried to cut down all of our beautiful flowers. They've tried to make this harsh winter last forever. But my friends, with a resounding win for the DA in the upcoming election, we will send this brutal winter away and we will welcome the sunlight and the spring to Cape Town. Thank you very much.